There comes a moment in many women's lives when the question is no longer, what should I do next? But instead, why do I keep getting pulled back into the same patterns, even when I want something different? This is where unconscious patterns live. Not always as obvious as self-sabotage, but as subtle emotional habits, reactions, and identities that quietly shape our choices every day. And most women don't even realize they're living from them because the first step is not fixing yourself, it's awareness. Seeing the pattern clearly without shame, without judgment, without turning it into another reason to criticize yourself, just recognizing this exists inside of me and it's influencing how I experience life. Our beliefs are shaped unconsciously over time through childhood, relationships, praise, rejection, success, disappointment. Moments where we learned who we needed to become in order to feel safe, accepted, loved, and enough. And from those experiences, we create identity. The achiever, the caretaker, the people pleaser, the strong one, the hyper-independent woman, the woman who carries everything herself. Over time, these identities stop feeling like adaptations and start feeling like who we are. But identity is not truth. It's conditioning repeated long enough to feel familiar. And this is why emotions sit at the center of so many patterns, because every identity carries emotional memory with it. So I want you to look at yourself more gently and ask yourself, what emotion do I return to most often? Not the emotion you show people, the one your body quietly lives in. For me, it's anxiety. Not racing thoughts, not panic, a heaviness in my body that feels present before I even open my eyes in the morning at times. I remember at one time sitting on the edge of my bed thinking, I can't keep living like this. I didn't even want to go to sleep at night because I hated waking up and before I even could get a thought in, having this oppressive feeling. But what changed everything wasn't fixing every circumstance in my life. It was learning how to become internally anchored instead of emotionally reactive. Learning how to regulate my responses instead of unconsciously living patterns, or unconsciously, I should say, unconsciously living inside of patterns. Because emotions aren't the enemy. They're simply information. And every moment gives us a choice. How we think, how we respond, how we reinforce who we become. When we live unconsciously, we repeat patterns automatically. When we become aware, we're creating consciously. Fear is part of being human, and every woman experiences it. But fear was never meant to become an identity, because fear consumes enormous amounts of energy that was meant for healing, creativity, connection, purpose, life. And most fear actually isn't even happening now. It's memory, it's anticipation, and it's conditioning. The body responds to imagined fear the same way it responds to real fear, which is why old emotional patterns can continue long after the original experience has passed. Because this is also where your power lies. Because if the nervous system can learn fear, it can also learn safety, trust, peace, wisdom, freedom. And that changes everything. The next chapter of your life is not about suppressing emotion. It's not about becoming fearless, and it's not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming conscious enough to choose your response instead of automatically reliving your past. Because emotional sovereignty begins with one decision: the decision to stop abandoning yourself to unconscious patterns and start consciously creating your life from awareness instead. And that is what the Sovereign Woman Society is all about. learning how to return to yourself beneath the conditioning, the pressure, and the survival patterns. Because emotional sovereignty doesn't begin with perfection. It begins with awareness, and that changes everything.